Both Corneria bosses and Star Fox Switch 2 can be cheesed. Each one has a specific thing you can exploit. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's how. Look, my first time through Corneria, I did it the normal way. Shooting at things, taking hits I didn't need to take. First boss took me longer than it should have to take down, and then I figured something out. Both of these boss fights have a very specific mechanic that basically removes the challenge entirely if you know about it. It's not a glitch, it's just how the bosses work. And knowing this is... okay, you should know this. First boss, Granga pilot. Okay, when most players go in, they're blasting at whatever area on it they can hit, right? That works. It's just slow and you're eating damage you don't need to take. Here's what's actually happening. If you shoot out the Granga pilot mech's arms, it loses the ability to fire its missiles. If you shoot out the Granga pilot mech's legs, it loses the ability to run around the screen. The key window is right at the beginning of the boss fight. With Granga pilot, basically, if you shoot out one of its legs, only one, it will fall to the ground immediately and lose the ability to run around the screen. That's the cheese. Now, I will say, the one thing to watch out for is that it can still shoot missiles if you haven't shot out its arms, and you really don't need to. It looks scarier than it is. Like when you first start the boss fight, you start pretty close to the Granga pilot mech. Every instinct is telling you to pull your R-wing away. Don't. If you shoot out the leg, it's a complete non-issue. The whole fight, once you know this, is over in less than 30 seconds. I found this on one of my attempts on trying to defeat the Granga pilot, and was surprised by how easy it made this boss fight.
My Emperor, I failed you!
Quick break. Subscribe if you haven't. Helps out a lot. Okay, back to it. Second boss. Attack carrier. Different fight, different exploit. This one looks more intimidating than the Granga pilot. It flies in over the top of you and comes in pretty large and goes out to the distance, turning around slowly, giving kind of an intimidating approach. And that's kind of the design. It wants you to be reactionary. You don't want to be reactionary. Here's the deal. Right as the boss fight is starting, position your R-wing so you're aiming at the right launch bay of the attack carrier, the one that launches the extra fighters, and just start firing away with your blasters, even before the launch bay opens, because that launch bay will open first once the boss starts to attack. And if you're firing fast enough and have the hyper blasters, you can take that bay down very, very quickly. If you don't have hyper blasters going into this fight, that's totally fine. It may just take a little bit longer, but you can still pull it off. Once the right launch bay is broken off of the main aircraft carrier, the same strategy applies to the two left-hand side launch bays that launch missiles. The cheese here is to not let the attack carrier attack before you do. You take the initiative and start firing those blasters even if the launch bay doors aren't open yet. And if you miss the initial attack, you don't lose. Just recover, reposition, and try again. You'll get it. Quick recap. Granga pilot, take out his leg. Aircraft carrier, initiate the attack and attack the launch bays before the doors even open. Both Corneria bosses, done. And by the way, this game has way more bosses than just on Corneria. Every level has its own boss. And as I find more way to cheese those fights, they're going to be their own videos. Subscribe so you don't miss those. Which boss gave you more trouble before you knew about this? Or if you're watching this before you even step into Corneria, what are you expecting going in? Leave it down below. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, Nesmoji out.
We're Star Fox. Tell your boss we're coming for him.